with special responsibility for children, Mr. Brian Lenihan, TD.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rinushla, I'm very pleased to be here today and I look forward to hearing your views, and I'm very grateful for your participation in this event. Children and young persons don't have a vote until they're 18 years of age, so it's very, very important that your voice is heard loud and clear by us, and it's very, very helpful to us when we make decisions that we know where you look at it. We can often get it wrong, you can get it right, so we do need your opinion and we value it.
The young people who attended Dáil na nÓg are called delegates. The delegates were divided into groups of about 10 people, and each group was made up of a mix of people from all over the country. Before the day of Dáil na nÓg, delegates voted for 2 topics to talk about at Dáil na nÓg. Alcohol and drug abuse was their first choice, and it was discussed in depth during the morning. There was heated debate, and at the end of the session each group voted for the 3 points which they thought were most important to take forward to the plenary session at the end of the day.
Around 14. I started at 15 and a half, but all my other friends started a lot earlier than me. So from that, who would you know people that you know that are drinking? Late 14s. Late 14s? From around second year, from the end of second year, from the start.
It's changed a bit. From when I was in first year, I wouldn't have dreamt of drinking or drugs or anything like that, but it's just changed so much. Like, yeah. I was 16 now looking at the first years coming in, and they know a hell of a lot more than I would have known in first year. And I think they're starting a lot younger now.
Okay. It's still there as well. More people have outside of the beer and that.
All you can smell is sweet.
Everything has to be washed.
They actually said on QI the other day that it was healthier for people on airplanes before they banned smoking, because they used to recirculate the air after 2 minutes or something like that. But now they only recirculate half the air, and you're breathing like recirculated air.
You're reusing your air.
You're reusing your own air, so it leads to more air rage and stuff. Which is completely wrong.
I think if it was a younger age, you wouldn't have the problem of going out into bushings drinking. Drinking like that.
I think it would take the hype away from it as well, and maybe not even just lower it, if they added some education to it as well if they were going the age.
There's definitely not education about drugs or alcohol. Yeah, but particularly for the people now who are underage and who are drinking, and say that the age limit is reduced, do you not think that it's going to just make it more available for them and they're going to be more drunk? So it's going to wait.
The 14-year-old, the 12-year-old, the
10-year-old
start
it's just going to get younger. But it's part to do with like your body's not ready for it before you're 18. It's whatever damage it does when you're 18, it does a lot more when you're younger. So reducing the age won't really help.
Leave that in there for one group.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, it's so cool. Like, I mean, il pedig én rövid I mean, just thought, or...
It's a deer. It's a shop with them.
I feel chance again, then like...
It's not enough for an hour for saying. Ni in the sauce, the sauce, steps.
A short break was taken for some lunch and a bit of relaxation. Some bands entertained the delegates, and people got a chance to learn some juggling. I spoke to this delegate who was representing the young people of Waterford.
Well, I went from Frowig, I went to a meeting, and then from the meeting we got elected onto the Waterford City Council, and then from that we got elected onto Dáil na nÓg, so it's an elected process.
And are you enjoying everything that you're doing?
Yeah, it's great enough. I learned how to juggle. Still not get the hang of it though.
And are there any topics that are being discussed today that you're particularly interested in?
Yeah, the drugs and alcohol one I found very interesting. I did surveys to find out my school, so a lot of new things I learned anyway so far.
And are a lot of teenagers your age giving their opinions and stuff about this?
Yeah, we're all working as a group, so it's grand. It's great fun.
Educational disadvantage was the topic for the afternoon session. Young people are the most important part of our education system, so the delegates had a lot to say on the matter. Once again, after all the main points of the discussion around each table were written down, Each delegate voted for the points which they thought were most important for taking forward to the plenary session at the end of the day.
Music from, yeah, but like, sin, like, both the goal, and the dini, cross, the snitch, the glory, and the dini, oh god, well, I've heard stuff.
For the plenary session, delegates sat in a large semicircle facing each other, as it is in Dáil. Brian Lenihan, Minister of State with special responsibility for children, and many of his colleagues were there to listen to the outcomes from each group on the two themes: drug and alcohol abuse and educational disadvantage. Each group had nominated spokespersons to give their feedback.
1, 2, testing. We think the legal age for drink should be lowered to 16 in pubs, but raised to 21 in our licences. More guarded checkpoints are needed for drink driving, and ADs should be checked more often in pubs. Proper and fair education is needed for all students in school.
Okay, delegates, staff, minister, top 3 recommendations for table 10. Coming in at number 3, we need penalties for young people who abuse alcohol and drugs. These penalties should be directly affecting the young people and not their parents. That is, they should be involved in mandatory community service rather than fines which will be paid by parents. Number 2, information and education on drugs and alcohol are needed more widely to influence change in attitude. Number 1, note well, most important, we need more facilities for young people. We also need information on alternative activities for young people which will keep them away from alcohol and drugs. Thank you.
This Mary, the mission occurred to me of Dina with that new day for showing you. Douche, and the occur divine the Dina fui off to occur off as take torn of Nightla. Need only smuina my shop. Hugmer vote that's a group because they're trouble shack doing where we show pint is top of the on real respect for you. Beta Dina Hoshija focus stick to top torn and stand be hard those can knock all the shit. And so you're never survey begging our group because if you you're about dinner one or all a skull or druggy skull. The cards for league near the end in honor of the garden who's taken to top the staff at time point. The card has used the fun skull and round coin on shape, where the ear fun skull of future go down with the sun. Rather than a disco than a decory, being used to be a lone rule of fun songs, near the real of Kova or British than a real crowd. If Darren Lee, when a real of the vine, if it made foundering in Britain.
In particular, we talk about distributing information among schools in disadvantaged areas, so that just because they're from disadvantaged areas doesn't mean that they can't go to college, or just because the fees being brought in they can't afford to go. That scholarship scheme should be provided for students in disadvantaged areas.
A third point is funding for money makes the world go round. We think that we have enough funding going into the education system as it is, but it's just not spread evenly enough. We think that the introduction of a school system, a school league table system, with teachers getting paid extra for their good results and bad schools getting extra capital payment so that they can improve their facilities, would greatly improve the amount of funding in schools and would create a more equal distribution of the funding to schools.
We want more fun and learning. Creativity should be encouraged in the curriculum.
Young people should be paid to stay in school. More programs like Leave Certified and Leave Certified Academy should be encouraged. There should be more creative ways to get qualifications.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your comments. Well, you've come up with a number of excellent ideas, and I'll certainly bring them to the attention of the government because they're very worthy of consideration. Now, it's very important in all this process, as I said at the start, that you're involved, that you make your views known. I know you've done that very clearly today, and I know what you've said on this subject will be brought to the government.
And all that's left is that we're looking forward with interest to receive news of how successful we have been in getting our voice across and listened to by government. And I will now close Dáil.